Hi everyone. I hope everyone can see me. I'm just setting everything up. Let me just try to get to the Prima page and see if my live is showing up on my iPad. Okay, yes. Try to get. Okay. I am trying to see the chat. Okay, so hi Rika, thank you so much for modding with me today. Can you hear me properly and can you see me properly? If yes, guys, please say, leave me a comment so that I know everything is working. Okay, Rika, can you hear me? Can you see the screen and everything properly? Why can't I see comments? Okay, let's see. Okay. So, yep. Hi Anupama. Yeah, everything seems to be okay. So let's wait for people to join in. It should not take more than like few minutes, and then we'll get started. So today we will be working on this pretty thing which I've made. It's a canvas which I made couple of 2 days back, and it uses FINNABAIR tissues and FINNABAIR stencils and also some stamps by FINNABAIR, and I'm really excited to share this with you all. And we'll be using different fun techniques, and I'll be also teaching you all how to get a little darker effect behind the tissue when you work on this sort of a canvas. So I'm gonna wait for next 2-3 minutes and then I'll get started. So I will be using this, I think this is a 6x8, let's see, sorry, 8 by 10 inches. Yeah, this is the size of the canvas which I'm using, and this is going to be a kind of a message board. So you press this and you can like add like messages, you can add pictures and something with more utility, and you can hang it anywhere, like near your fridge, near anything. So it's a pretty exciting and a different concept, and I hope you all will like it. So let's get started with this. Okay, I see there are 53 people who have joined us today, so thank you so much guys for joining me. And to get started with the canvas, we will be first taking the canvas out of the thing, and I'll just keep this here so that you guys have vision of what we are going to be making. And to begin with, the first thing first, what we are gonna do is we are going to mist this a little bit with dark brown color. So how that helps is basically when you put tissue on it, tissue is a little transparent, right? It's not, it's translucent, it's not opaque. So whatever is in the background will show up a little bit. So to make it quicker, I'm gonna be using my color bloom sprays. But guys, you can use your acrylic paints, you can use our watercolor paints, anything which you like. I mean, let me show you our watercolor paints. Look at this watercolor paint, it's called Cafe. And I'm gonna show you like how I will use it. Okay, and I'm gonna give a droopy effect. And and this is how it gets a droopy effect. This is our concentrated watercolors. So the idea is to just give a little bit of droop in the background so that when we put tissue on it, it has a very nice shaded effect. And given that we don't have a lot of time to dry up our canvas, I will simply use my tissue and heat tool. I'm just simply using my tissue and my heat tool so that I can dry this a little quicker than expected. Okay, so once this is dry, what we're going to do next is we will take some of our clear gesso. So gesso is not like just a primer, like you can't, I mean, gesso can also be used to stick things like things like tissue papers and all, which are very light in weight. You can pretty much stick it like on canvas or on paper. So gesso also has adhesive in it. It basically has some part of glue and some part of paint. So the one which I'm going to be using right now is clear gesso, because I don't want to use white or black gesso because those are opaque and this is transparent. And after that we will be using these tissues. So this is one of the tissues by FINNABAIR. Let me see if I can find other tissues and other stencils. So yeah, so this is basically the new release which we had this year at CHA, and you can see that these are the two tissues which we have released by FINNABAIR. And then we release some stencils, so I'm going to show you guys the stencils quickly. Here these stencils are super versatile, super useful. Finn always comes up with these really nice designs of stencils. So once this is done, so my idea is to stick this tissue on top of the sheet like this, something like this. Okay, so let's find a corner from which we are going to stick it. And remember the brown shade which we gave in the background, it kind of shows up here, like, so that was the whole concept behind adding a group of a splash of color in the background. So now what I'm gonna do is I will simply go ahead and cut my tissue in the size. Guys, give me 1 second, I need to clear my desk up. There are 3 screens running up here. Okay, so I will simply cut it. You don't have to be perfect with your cuts. The thing which I love about tissue paper is it's super light and still super pretty. Like the pattern, you can pretty much have any kind of pattern on it, and it gives so much of flexibility and versatility to work with. It's easily bendable. So this is how my tissue is gonna be going. So for that I'm gonna be using my clear gesso. Okay, so simple concept. I'll be taking my paintbrush and applying some clear gesso. We will be doing the edges, but in few minutes. And don't give a very thick layer. All you need is a little bit. Tissue needs very little bit of adhesive on the background, you know, so that you can stick to it. It doesn't need a lot. So that's the reason why I love working with tissue. You can make beautiful backgrounds using tissues. Okay. Now I'm going to stick this. Use your hands. Your hands are your best tools. Okay, once this is done, and you see the brown effect which we gave in the background, it's showing up here, like the droop. Can you see it here? So that adds another dimension. We have many designs in tissue papers. Finn has been releasing these beautiful designs every year. And in the back side, all you need to do is just add some gesso and hold it like this. Thank you guys for joining me. I see 126 of you live here. That's a big number, so thank you so much, people, for joining me today. Super grateful, super thrilled to see you all. Okay, now let's add some more tissue. So this part, you've got to do it a little nicely and cleanly so that your tissue is properly backed up. And the reason why I do this is because I don't want any unfinished edges. This helps me in finishing up the edges, this particular step. And here's the last bit of it. And tissue is very delicate, so handle it nicely, especially when it is wet. For example, right now it is really wet because I've applied it on top of clear gesso, so handle it very nicely and softly. So guys, here I have my tissue up, and so now let's go on to the next step. So the next step which we have here is taking up my stencil and giving it a pattern. And once I'm done with giving it a pattern, after that I will dry it so that the background, the gesso in the background as well as the stencil, they both get dry at the same time. Okay, so now I have this particular stencil, and I'll be using this stencil, and the idea is to use it like this. And this is again a beautiful stencil by FINNABAIR. And you guys will love it. Like this, the new stencils by FINNABAIR are like dope. They're so good. Like I simply love using all the mixed media supplies Prima comes up with. They're like eternal. You have them once and like you use them forever. Like these are like tools. So let's go to the next step, and this is simply applying my paste. I'm gonna be applying a little thin layer, guys, because we have a time restriction and it takes a lot of time for the paper paste to dry up, but still better than some of our other pastes. Like paper texture paste is relatively a quick dry paste, and it is one of my favorite because it adds such a nice texture when you're working. Okay, so I do have this particular stencil ready, and I'm going to simply shut my paper paste bottle. Guys, be careful. Like I've ruined so many of my bottles just by not closing it properly. And this stencil, I let it dry. For the time being, I'll simply go and clean this up. Guys, make sure that you clean this stencil right after you're using, like right after you're done using it, because otherwise stencil is gonna get ruined. I have done that to some of my stencils. Yeah, so Shruti, you have asked me, did you use gesso only to adhere tissue? The answer is yes. I have only used clear gesso to adhere the tissue. You don't need any glue or Mod Podge. So you know, a clear gesso is something similar to Mod Podge only. Like once you give a brushing of clear gesso on any product, it has very similar properties to Mod Podge. Like you can stick stuff with it. It gives that shiny transparent layer. So I really like using clear gesso. Even on my pattern papers, you know, I use Mod Podge, like I use FINNABAIR clear gesso instead of Mod Podge, because that way I get a nice primed surface to add more colors to it, and also like the transparency of the paper, like the pattern of the paper is preserved. Sorry guys, I am actually just looking at your comments as well as replying to you, so that is why I'm getting a little distracted while I'm making it. I'm not a very good multitasker. Like I'm really bad at multitasking. Okay, so I'm very conscious about my stencils. So what I use is baby wipes. They are really good for wiping your stamps, wiping your stencils, or any mixed media project. Okay, now once we are done wiping the stencil off, let's go and dry this up. Okay, so I'm gonna just cross my fingers and really hope that this gets dried up quickly. Okay. Guys, please hold on with me. I know this is very boring, and this is exactly the point where I lose most of my viewers. So guys, please hold on with me. Something really exciting is coming up on this canvas. Okay, so this is pretty much dry, and let's move on to the next step, and that is giving a little bit of color to our canvas. So in this canvas, you can see that I have added some color on the background, like this green tint. It just adds a lot of beauty to your canvas. Okay, so let me just get my color out. The color which I'll be using is this acrylic paint, and it's called Fairy Wings. Super pretty color. I am going to just take my paintbrush, dip my paintbrush inside this, and simply I'm going to just dab it. So what I love about mixed media is that you don't have to be under lines, like inside lines. So while growing up as a kid, I suffered from a lot of attention, like I had attention deficiency sort of an issue. And what I struggled with most was during the painting class, like a drawing class, the teacher would always want me to color inside the lines, and I would always go like outwards, like I would never be able to like color inside the lines. So with mixed media, I can express myself because I don't have to be in the lines, and I can just go random anywhere. So this is how this looks now. Now once this is done, I'm going to try it again. Okay guys, so now this is also ready and dry. Next step is drooping some paint, like splatters of white and black, and for that I have a small palette, like a paint palette. And what I usually do is I just take a little bit of white gesso and black gesso. So first let's do white, because like white is lighter than black. And all you need is a brush. I'm using FINNABAIR art brushes, art basic brushes, and add some water to it. Dilute the paint. can just add some splatter on your project. Okay, save the white paint, we will be using it again. Now let's take some black, very little. And save that paintbrush and add some water, dilute it, mix it properly and add some black splatters. See how pretty it looks, right? Like, just add so much of definition and depth to your canvas. Okay, so this is done, and I'm going to use the dabbing brush by FINNABAIR. I'll use the white paint and dab a little bit here and there. We will be doing this technique again, and I'll show you how. Let me quickly go ahead and dry this first. Okay, so the layer is dried up properly. Okay, and now the next step is going to add some stamps, like some random stamps all over. And the stamp which I will be using is by FINNABAIR. These very nice background texture stamps, and one of my favorite design is this one. But how about we use this stamp today? The process is very simple. You will be using your stamping ink, and just take highly pigmented stamping ink and cover this up. And don't give pressure on the entire stamp. We don't want this entire stamp to be pasted on our canvas. Like, we don't want the entire design to be pasted as a square. What we want is a little bit of abstract process. Okay, so just give pressure to few areas. Don't give pressure to the entire stamp. So this gives a very nice you know, unfinished sort of a look. Again, not under the lines. And we are kind of ready with the background now. And but before we move forward, my rule of thumb: take the tissue and wipe your stamp. Like, wipe it and keep it back. I try my best in my live classes to teach the best practice to increase the longevity of your products. So please bear with me when I do these annoying things of cleaning up right in front of you all. Now let's take some white gesso, and using one of our dabbing brushes, I will just dab some white paint all over. So this mutes the extra so what happens is, like, when you do stamping or add splashes, some part doesn't look blended. So basically what white gesso dabbing does is it blends everything properly. Now we're gonna just quickly dry it using our heat gun. So if you have just joined me, this is what we are learning today, how we are going to make this beautiful message board canvas. I dab it with tissue because some of the areas where water content is more, it will be hard to dry given that we have limited amount of time. So that is why you see me dabbing it with tissue. Okay guys, so now this is ready and now we'll go on assembly. So first thing first, we're gonna add this beautiful clip which we have here, and this is one of the Art Daily paper clips, RUSTIC clips they are called, and they are again by the beautiful and talented FINNABAIR. And all you need is glue gun. I need to buy more of these clips now. And so nice, it says notes, and this is what we're going to be hanging up here, right guys? And now let's do some kind of work on the corner, and for that I will be using some mechanicals by FINNABAIR. These are called winter trinkets, and basically they are snowflakes with brads in the center. I will be using these, and I'll be using some wood spools. This is from our spring farmhouse collection which was released last year. Then among other products, I'll be using these sentiment stickers where there are these words. This is a must-have product. I really love the versatility of this particular product. And we have some more here and there trinkets and knobs and such. So we will be using a bunch of these things, and I'll be making a different composition than what we have over here. Okay, so to make it a little more collective, I'm going to add the picture here so that I know how much decor would be required on this side. So I have a basket where I keep all these findings, like this frame is there, some chipboard is there. So I usually, when I create, I just pick all those things up and I work around it. So these, and there was this pretty thing which I just saw and I can't seem to find it again. It was a clock or something like that. This beautiful clock, so we can use this. So for flowers, I will be using this. This is from Spring Farmhouse. Some flowers from here, and we'll be combining everything and making it. So you'll see me that how easy it is to use whatever you have in the stash and make something nice out of it. For example, look at this chipboard which I have. It's literally broken, but see, I'm gonna be using it and it will look very nice. So let's make our composition. Okay, this looks pretty nice, right? We add a clock here, and we can add one chipboard piece here like this. Clock can go, yeah, see, it looks pretty, right guys? So it's very easy. Whatever you have in your stash, you can use it. I always I believe in making your craft also sustainable. One thing's really good about our crafting is most of the products which we use are paper based, and yeah, so I reuse my supplies sometimes when I'm like done with a project and it's pretty old. I'm not able to gift it to someone. I'll pluck out the parts and just keep it in a basket where I just keep all my trinkets and such, and then just stick them and reuse them. Okay, so now let's get started with sticking part. Okay, so we know how our layers are gonna go. So I'll just add this and add this on top of this. Okay, and now for flower I want to add some dimension, right? So first let's add this chipboard like this. Okay, and flower I want to add a dimension to it. So what I will do is, where are my scissors? Okay, so my scissors are here, and I'll take a chipboard. Let me find a chipboard piece for you guys, and I'll show you how I make my own dimensions. So this is a chipboard. What I do is, like, I cut a corner, okay, and cut small squares out of it. Guys, don't leave me. I'll show you how to finish a project. So just hold on. We have more and more techniques coming up. Okay. And then we have, be careful. I always burn my fingers, but now my fingers are kind of immune to burning. Add this. This part. Be careful, guys, and add it here. Okay, add this on this corner, and this over here. Okay, now this area is done, and we will go to the next part, which is adding our sentiment. And oh, let's add some vintage trinkets. I forgot about them. So I think this one will look pretty, somewhere tucked somewhere over here. This here looks nice, right? Glue gun makes our life so easy, right? Like, everything you can stick so quickly. It's perfect. We've added some trinkets. Let's add these wooden spools. I like building my project, like, you know, just step by step, adding more stuff to it. It just gives so much of uniqueness to a project. Now let's use our sentiments. I will use Build Your Wings, looks nice, and a smaller one, Just Create. These two look perfect. And to stick them, I will be using my squares, foam squares. You can make your own by using chipboard. Like, it's very simple. I have these because they just make my life easy. They're quick to use. Okay, and here is another one. So guys, I have a beautiful sentiment here, and you'll notice that the length of these two sentiments are different, because it is important, because if you'll put something exactly of same width, it's not going to balance out. So it's very important when you create to balance out a project. So this looks super nice and super pretty. Now let's finish it off. I forgot to add one thing which I added in my previous project. So when you're sticking flowers, you can use the thread spool to give more depth. Okay, so I forgot. I'm going to do something which I should not on camera, but guys, I do it all the time. That's the beauty of using a glue gun. I'm going to take this off, add some glue gun, and do this. Like, rectify your mistakes. Glue gun is so easy, right, to rectify. So we have added some more definition by this thread, and this is how my project looks for now. And now I have this another interesting product which I like using, and it is called glass glitter. The color which I'll be using is pitch black. And to use it, simply take your paintbrush and soft matte gel. Okay, so this is the product which I'm using, soft matte gel, and just add it a little bit like this. Okay, we will be using two products right now. One is the glass glitter and other is my favorite art stones. So I've added soft matte gel. The first step is going to be adding my stones, and I'm using these medium-sized art stones. They are available on any of the stores, scrapbooking stores, and one good thing is that Prima is also available on Amazon.com. So in case you're not able to find anything here and there, check out Amazon. Just a splatter of it, such that the glue which you have, like the matte gel which you have pasted on the background, is not fully covered. Like there is still some scope to add more things to it. Okay, so this is done. Now let's add some glass glitter, and this will completely give our project like a complete finished look which we are looking to achieve. So this tray is something without which I cannot work. Remove the excess. So okay guys, so I have my final product here, and this is how it looks right now. So this was the original one which I did, and this is the one which I've made right in front of you all. I hope you guys have enjoyed my project, and I really hope you guys found some useful techniques which you can use in your future projects. And I'm super grateful, super thankful again to all of you for joining me on a busy Tuesday afternoon and making this live a success story. So thank you so much again. If you have any questions, people, please leave me a comment here. Your compliments, your comments, whatever you didn't like about it, wherever areas you want me to improve, I'll be happy to take any kind of criticism, any kind of feedback, and improve upon it. So let me know, and thank you people very much. I love you all. And if in case you missed the live video, this will be posted on the Prima page, so that you can have a look on it later. Have a wonderful day, and good afternoon. Yeah, good night in some countries and good afternoon for some countries. So bye.